for your booty.
For your booty.
Okay, well, let's do a test run.
I'm not a whiskey drinker at all.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
This fucking rocks.
Wow. Probably tastes like apple crown.
Oh, that used to be so good. Okay. Hello, this is Better.RedRoom podcast, and my name is Naomi.
And I'm tough.
And this is episode 17. Episode 17, we're going to be discussing hardcore music. Specifically, we're going to be talking about the Black history and Black artists in hardcore / punk music.
Yeah. Also, a little bit of metal.
Oh, a little bit of metal. Yeah, I mean, they kind of all tie into each other. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of when I was researching, what I realized is punk came first.
Yeah.
Hardcore came next.
But punk.
And then metal.
Okay, yes. Okay, but what I found out was that hardcore became the punk version of punk because punk was becoming too mainstream.
In order for punk to be punk, it can't be mainstream.
Yes, and so they had to make it more punk. They had to be like, we have to weed out the posers. But anyways, let's go into our research because we did all this beautiful research. We might as well.
What do you want to
share it to the folks? So first, I want to discuss kind of the origins of punk. Okay. Well, not punk, more so hardcore. So hardcore kind of developed its own thing in the mid-ish 70s. Yeah. There's not really one band that you can like be like, okay, they created hardcore.
I disagree, but go ahead.
That is actually true.
Yeah,
but that band that we're going to discuss actually does not like to be considered hardcore, surprisingly.
Oh, good for them.
I know, right? But they're still very...
If they don't identify as hardcore, that's like fine.
You know, but
I respect genres.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, so hardcore kind of came up in the 70s, mid-ish 70s. Because they were like, punk is becoming too mainstream. It's becoming too commercialized. We need to weed out the posers, basically. And they wanted to make it faster, harder. Speed. That's literally... Speed. Hardcore is just punk music plus speed. And a little bit more, and a lot more vocal
I feel like
aggression.
It's also heavier. I feel like it's heavier, like on the bass line.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Very fast. Yeah. They're just like, we just... gotta keep going. The drum is like the main base of hardcore.
You think so?
I mean, it's all working together like a salad because it's a band. Come on now, but like, okay, you know what?
I don't.
It's an analogy.
Okay.
You're supposed to understand it, but you don't. Anyways.
If the analogy.
Anyways. First band that we're gonna discuss. That has been credited
No. I'm so sorry. We gotta go back.
No, we don't.
If the analogy was good, then I'd understand it.
But it's like you know what?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be mean, but I'm just saying.
It's fine.
I'm just saying.
It's fine.
Okay. Okay.
So the band that we're talking about specifically is Bad Brains, and so this is a fully black, not bill, but like. All the members are black, and they hail from DC. Yeah. And I've actually found out that DC had like a really like crazy punk scene.
Oh, it was popping there.
And I did not know that.
DC was so deep in that.
Yeah, I just kind of discovered Fugazi like a month or so ago. I know. They're so good.
Fugazi's so good, bro.
Fugazi.
I mean,
they're really good.
Fugazi. I mean,
whatever.
Did you know that they're like the biggest anti-capitalists?
That's actually not that surprising, no.
Yeah, like literally they have zero merch.
Wow.
Zero merch. They never sold merch.
They're like, go listen to our music or shut the fuck up.
Literally, they're just like, if you could rip it from somebody in the crowd, we'd actually really prefer that.
Yeah, actually. Yeah. But yeah, coming from the same city, DC, is Bad Brains, and they're kind of credited for being like the first, like pioneers.
But they don't like that.
They don't like that.
Yeah.
So they formed in 1976. Yeah. And they had a really like huge reggae influence, and so
they're Rastafarian.
Yeah, and so that was a huge element within their music, but they're credited for being one of the first. There's a few bands on the West Coast also credited for being
In the 1970s?
Yeah. Okay. So Middle Class, I think, is what
Is the
or
name
middle.
of the band on the West Coast?
Yeah, I think that's the
Oh, okay.
name.
All right.
They kind of formed in the 78, so a little bit left.
Well, it was a little bit
but-
later. Yeah.
But the one band that I saw that was like they were ahead of their time, which is a band that I've known for a few years, is Death. And so Death is 3 black brothers from Detroit, and they just wanted to make like music. And so
Really?
yeah, so they just decided to just start doing they really started doing like R&B music, and they were like, we're not fucking with this.
Yeah.
So they were like, let's recreate some of the shit that we already know.
Okay.
And so a lot of those bands were rock bands. And
Really?
so they started recording and making rock music, but they were not well received at all.
Well,
And there's
I'm sorry.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
I kind of want to know what instruments are they playing. Like, who's doing what?
I did not look that far into
I'm so sorry.
it.
I just wanted to know.
You know,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
rock instruments. The fuck
What
do you
does
want
it
me
sound-
to say?
What does it sound like?
No, okay, so to me, Death is they have a very political message. And so like they have a song called Politicians in My Eyes. It's kind of like an artist that I can kind of compare them to. I just feel like there's not really anyone I could compare them to as far as sound. Not that comes like straight off the head.
I have a question though.
Yeah.
When did they start again?
73.
Death started in 73.
Death started in 73.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
And it's kind of a little bit of hardcore, but like they didn't go as extreme. Like
I
they
gotcha.
they just started with the really, really fast kind of like
Yeah.
drums and some of the, I guess, guitars.
Okay.
I'm not
yeah.
that musically,
She lying.
educated.
She lying.
I'm not,
She
but
lying.
whatever.
Being modest.
But yeah, like they kind of just were like ahead of their time, but like they didn't really know what they were doing, and they still, like one of their last interviews, they were like, we're not punk, we're just making rock and roll music, we're just making hardcore, well not hardcore, I'm sorry, we're just making rock and roll Detroit music. That's what they described it as. But they definitely were a pioneer and kind of culminating the hardcore genre before they really even knew it.
Yeah, I mean, like, because we have a rock episode, and there's actually quite a few of those rock songs, at least that I remember adding, that could be considered hardcore.
Yeah.
So to them to say, oh, hey, we're just creating Detroit rock music, I think that's quite on point. You know? For us to have that, like, the Meadle playlist.
Yeah, the Meadle.
the Meadle playlist. So, like, to do, like, kind of rock, again, that's, like, that progression of punk to hardcore to metal.
Yeah.
And it kind of, like, I don't know, they're sister cousins.
Yeah, I feel like it's the umbrella, and then there's, like, different little subsets underneath it. Like, it's a family tree. Like, rock is the family tree.
You think so?
But then, like, the grandmother is, like, the blues.
Oh.
And then, like, you come down, it's, like, metalcore, deathcore. Grindcore.
Punkcore.
Hardcore.
Funcore.
Punk. Funcore. Clowncore. Not playing.
Clowncore.
No.
I mean, Insane Clown Posse.
True. I feel like clowncore is more electronic, though.
Go off.
No?
Like what's that Lovesick Puppy?
Lovesick Puppy is definitely electronic.
No, but what's the name of their album? It was like a
Carousel from Hell.
Yeah, see, that's clowncore to me.
That is clowncore.
That's clowncore to me.
LOL, that is clowncore.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's look into some bands you have.
Yeah, so when you were mentioning the political part of the band Death, so I was looking at this band. They're called Screw Tape.
Screw Tape.
Out of Denver.
Oh.
Their like last record was
There's a lot of black
like,
people in Denver.
Yes.
Yeah.
So their last record was in 2016. Their lead singer is black. His name is Zion. He did pass away.
Oh.
But
R.I.P.
he like their music so political. Literally one of my favorite songs is Too Many Republicans.
There is
That's literally the name of the song.
There's
is
too many
Republicans.
Damn.
Yeah, so essentially their last major songs is when Donald Trump got elected the first time.
The first time. And so, here we are the second time, unfortunately. What the fuck is going on?
Exactly. So all their music is literally just relevant again. Yeah. It's even more pertinent.
That's the thing. When it comes to politics and history, it will always repeat itself. It just looks a little bit different. Yeah. Technology has just advanced a lot and a little bit more at the same time. Yeah. But the rhetorics are still the same. The messages are still the same, and that's really frustrating.
Yeah, but I mean, that's kind of what the scene, like the hardcore scene, is kind of for. It's like, so like as that release, as that expression, as a community, that's mostly what they show up for.
The one thing, I'm not even really into a hardcore for real. I'm going to be honest, but there are quite a few artists that I do enjoy. But one thing I will say about the hardcore community that I have not seen in many other communities is that it really is like, it's a community. Like, I go to the show sometimes because I go with my friend Aviana. They're like really into doom metal and stuff.
Shout out Aviana.
Shout out to Aviana. They really put me on, but you literally could be in the middle of the show and the vocalist just gives the mic to somebody in the crowd and they know all the lyrics and they're just like going in and it's just like, what the fuck? And then somebody's moshing and then somebody's like doing other shit and then somebody gets hit in the face and then everybody's like, are you good? And then, oh, okay, we're good. And it's just like really cute and it's just, I feel like there's rules and
there are rules,
and I feel like that's like what a like community is. And it's just really, it's really cute to see it, but the hardcore shows go crazy. Like, first hardcore show I went to, somebody had...
Who'd you see?
I don't even know.
What?
It was at Catacombs, which is a DIY venue here in Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
And it literally was just in the backyard of somebody's house. And they had a grocery cart, and somebody was in the grocery cart, and everybody was like subsurfing, or not subsurfing, like throwing them up. Surfing? Yes. The person that was in the grocery cart. Yes. Wow. I was like, what the fuck is happening now? But it was so much fun. So much fun though. It was so much fun.
Yeah, because like when it comes to live performances, I was it was an interview with Upchuck. Or were you telling me about it?
I was talking about Playytime.
You were talking about Playytime.
I was talking about Playytime. These are two local Atlanta bands. They're really, really good.
Yeah, but you were talking about how Playytime in the pandemic for 2020. Yeah. They were talking about how can hardcore really exist when the scene's so important?
How can it? And it really can't. Yeah. Like, the music is really just one part of it, but there's literally there's a message in the lyrics. Yeah. The hardcore scene and the performances and the shows is just a way to let it out. Yeah. And you have to have the shows with the culture. Like, you can't just be like, oh, I love hardcore music. Like, it's not just hardcore music. It's literally a way of life. That's what that's a topic. Yeah, that's the topic that a lot of people are talking about now. Like, on TikTok I saw earlier, you can't be punk and also be conservative. Like, it literally goes against everything that the punk lifestyle and message is. Exactly. To be punk is to be like against all normal societal, like, except what's it called?
I don't know.
Roles or okay. Like expectations. That's what I'm looking for. So like you can't so you can't like fall into heteronormative stereotypes or just like really misogynistic you can't do that and be like, oh, I'm punk. Yeah, no, but I listen to the music. I wear the clothes. That's not what it is. That's not just what it is. Then it becomes
performative, and then you're not actually punk.
Literally, like I remember I was having a conversation with somebody. I was like, you literally can be in a full like office get up and still be punk because it's not about like what you look like. It's how you live your life, how you see the world. Yeah. And so
yeah, that's that's really why I like that Bad Brain song, Attitude. Like that positive mental attitude. Yeah. They were so big on PMA. Yeah. And like I really needed that sort of mental fortitude when I was listening to Bad Brains for the first time.
Yeah.
Which was like, I think my junior year in college. I was going through my all black era.
Yeah.
Which was incredibly difficult for me to do, as you can see the amount of colors that I'm wearing right now.
Yeah.
So I was like, all black. I'm listening to Bad Brains. And I'm just like, I'm simultaneously like trying to embody like, oh, like, this is kind of how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
Wearing it on my sleeves.
Yeah.
But also still knowing that, like, there's much more to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Trust me.
Yeah.
Things can get dark, and I don't know, like, growing up a church kid, I noticed that, like, a lot of things that we see out in the world that I've been taught or told to, like demonize. Yeah, the secular world. The things that I've been told to, like, demonize or that were sins or whatnot are literally just different forms of community. Yeah. Church is a community, whether you like it or not.
It is.
Hardcore and, like, different music scenes are community.
Exactly.
Sports
like
are community.
When we go to our dance parties.
When we go to our dance parties and we be out chilling and dancing.
It's a community.
That's a community.
I see the same kind of people.
Yeah, we do. And so that... Yeah, noticing that within the hardcore scene was pretty cool. But
well, like my first experience with the hardcore scene was seeing Upchuck. So I literally was on a date. The person I was on a date with was like, I want to go see my friend. No. Okay, there was a person performing. That person was dating someone. The person I was on a date with was friends with the person that wanted to see their date. So I'm like 5 times removed from the show.
Yeah.
I don't really have any reason to be there.
You don't.
My ticket was free.
You were just there.
Yeah, I was there. I'm watching somebody I don't even know.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there the whole time.
Yeah.
They're just like, oh, Upchuck's gonna come.
You're just like, oh.
Yeah. You just kind of hear like the whispering of what's about to happen.
Upchuck's gonna perform.
Yeah, no, they're gonna perform. They're gonna perform. Yeah. Yeah, and as soon as they started, I said, oh my gosh. First of all, I'm not dressed correctly.
You were like, I am in the wrong environment for this outfit.
This is a crazy first date.
Yeah.
This is a crazy first date.
Yeah.
Also, this is amazing.
This is amazing. I can imagine like that being a really just cool experience. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but everybody's having a good time and I'm not hating it.
Yeah, like if I never see you again,
it's fine.
I'm seeing this band. Again.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for putting me on.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I would have been like. Yeah. But
check.
But going into some other bands that I discovered, we already mentioned Bad Brains, Death, Playytime, Upchuck, also Gut Check. Gut Check is a local band that really kind of originated in Florida.
Really?
And they moved to Atlanta, and so they're definitely more in the harder side in my opinion, more so like heavy metal-ish hardcore. But they're still pretty good.
So they're like fast music.
Yes. And a lot of like just like the vocals are insane. Oh wow. The vocals go stupid.
Like good range of vocals.
Yeah. But another thing that I feel, did you have some other bands that you want to mention?
Yeah,
okay, let's
so
and then we can get into like locations and scenes.
Yeah, like so there's this band Apostle, right?
Okay.
There's this so I grew up in Douglasville. Don't look me up. And there's this kid who was like, he's black. He's always had locks. And he has always been in the emo punk era. Always wore it on the sleeves.
Never was a phase.
Black skinny jeans.
Wow.
Vans.
Yeah.
The little belt showing.
He said, I know who I am.
A band tee. From the moment.
From Douglasville.
Because there's not that many black people, so I know what everybody looks like.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, here's a religious one.
Yeah.
Here, there's a jock.
Yeah.
There's a gay.
Yeah.
There's a punk one.
Wow. Yeah.
And we move forward.
Yeah, the 4 archetypes.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And we just, you know what I mean? Just, you know where I was at. So, yeah. And then it turns out he has a band now.
Oh.
And he's the lead singer. And he plays guitar and maybe bass or something like that. And he also is writing it, and they just dropped a project at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
And he was talking about all of his influences and how he found community.
Yeah.
And the reason why he ended up like still playing in those bands is because he wanted to hang out with his friends.
Yeah.
And then when his friends would move or like life would get too hard, he would still go to a show, but he's like, okay, I don't have time for a band.
Mm-hmm.
But when he did, he's back on the road.
Yeah.
He's back touring.
Yeah.
And that I
life is worth living.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't personally know what it's like to tour.
No.
Or like necessarily what people go through in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But I can only imagine that kind of like adds to the community to see different hardcore like representation in other states.
Yeah. Atlanta is blessed with our demographic as far as it pertains to us, and I've never felt like an outsider.
I'm so sorry.
At home.
Us. Describe us.
Oh, I'm sorry. We are two Black gay folks that live in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And so I've never felt out of place in Atlanta, and most of the time, you know, there's like 5 different cities in Atlanta. Like, there's different types of Atlanta, but I personally, if you get it, you get it. Like,
I don't.
There's Alpharetta, but then there's like Buford Highway, but then there's East Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Very different neighborhoods.
Yeah, but it's still
very
Atlanta.
Different. Yes, very different demographics, but it's still Atlanta. But I've never really felt out of place in Atlanta. But I can only imagine going to other cities and states and having to perform for these people, and they probably don't fuck with you just for the color of your skin. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I could never imagine that.
Yeah. So that's why it's like, I feel like hardcore is such a niche genre.
Definitely niche.
That they're there for the music, including what you look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. I was watching a documentary, and it said that, you know, we can't say that Black people necessarily created punk, and we're not really looking for those credits. No. But being Black in general is punk. Like, our existence is like literally going against why them folks wanted us out of here like 200, 300, 400 years ago. And so it's just like, why not embrace that kind of like natural placement that you already have, unfortunately, in this society. And
it's not unfortunate.
Yeah, it really isn't unfortunate, but like,
I understand how it could be complicated.
Yeah, it's complicated because it's like, I exist as I am, and I'm proud of who I am. Like, there should be no reason for me to feel bad about who I am, but there's other people that don't fucking want me to exist. And it's like, okay, fuck you. Yeah. You know, some people struggle with that ideology, but whatever.
In forms of like not liking other people, or
in forms of not fucking with us.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know, I mean, old boy did win the popular vote just recently, so clearly something ain't making sense. So that's all I'm saying. But another segue. Yeah, another part of the hardcore scene are locations and where they throw these shows. So these shows are not being thrown at arenas. They're not being thrown at these super huge, large venues most of the time. There are sometimes. I saw the Garden, like, at Masquerade, so that was
a lot. Garden?
Yeah.
The Garden counts as hardcore?
A little.
Alternative? I'm just asking.
They're kind of like alternative. They kind of do a little bit of it. They were moshing, so I figured that's fucking hardcore to some degree, but whatever. Most of the time, these things are happening at small venues, very DIY, and so... Yeah, backyards, parking lots, you know, Denny's, Taco Bell parking lots recently that we saw. Meme. No, literally.
I love that meme.
And so typically the venues are a lot, like max 400 typically. And so here in Atlanta, the ones I've been to Culture Shock. Okay. I've been to 529, been to quite a few in 529. I've been to 529 a lot. South Bend Commons. Okay. Underground Atlanta. So like Underground is now just a whole bunch of different artist studios, and they rent out their venues to bands.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, and they'll throw
so
shows.
Instead of it being like Heaven or Hell, it'll be like a shop.
Yeah, like you know that part behind the like grass and that part. So there's like different
the artist alleyway.
The artist alleyway. Yeah. So they'll throw shows there. Oh, and then the Catacombs, which I don't honestly even know if they still exist, to be honest.
The catacombs, okay.
It's just a house. It's a really
it's a house.
Yeah, it's a really interesting house with a backyard.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, out in Douglasville or in the suburbs, they're absolutely having shows in garages.
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
One person's house.
And
parking along the entire street. Everybody's sweaty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They want to. They gotta find a way somehow, some way.
Because essentially, everyone is. I mean, especially now, people are like kind of starved for that connection, for that community.
Yeah. Post pandemic, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, finding any venue wherever you can.
Yeah.
And being invited into those spaces, showing up in those spaces, being present. I think that's so important. And honestly, for me, it's kind of hard to like let go and do all of everything.
Market Hugs. Market Hugs is a artist market that throws shows and markets. So like they'll have, I haven't been to one in a minute, but like they'll have vendors and artists like selling their shit, and then they'll also have like a DJ or a hardcore band come and just like perform. It's so cute.
Whoa.
Yeah. And they throw it like, I think there was one at Brick House before. I don't know. I haven't been in a minute, but
okay.
Yeah, they throw.
You'll have to take me to one. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Yeah.
But what were you saying again?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, okay, moving along.
I will say though that one of the most important things to keep hardcore going is an all ages show.
Yeah.
Not everything is all ages, but that's how you you get the youth involved.
You get the youth involved. They got to be involved.
They gotta have.
I would have loved to go into a hardcore show when I was like 16 or 17.
That's what I'm saying.
One of the girls that dates one of the members of Gut Check that I've met, like she was like, yeah, I was going to shows when I was like 13, 14, which is not probably the safest, but her mother allowed it. So
I think that's awesome.
No, honestly, that type of freedom that young and feeling like you can at least trust your kid at a show, I feel like it is pretty cool. Yeah. Pretty telling of the community for overall. There's some bad apples everywhere, but yeah. A few bands that I want to shout out before we end.
Go ahead.
Zulu, which I was supposed to see. They have, when I say Zulu is fucking insane, like their shows are so crazy, and a lot of their messages are just Black folks, we got to get our, we so down and out, but we gonna be good. We gonna be good. And it's kind of just like a call for action in a lot of their music.
Okay.
And it's kind of like, we sympathize. We're gonna be fine. This is our story, blah, blah, blah. But it's just, I really fuck with Zulu. Okay. The 1865, Pure Hell, X-Ray Specs, specifically polystyrene. She is the leader. She's the head vocalist. Jesus Peace, which they're out of Philly, I believe. Bimbos, which is Atlanta. They're pretty good. They have a female head, and one of the other members is also Black. And like they have this one song called Kim K, and like in the song, she's just like, I just want to hang out with my friends and throw my ass. That's all I want to do. And she's just like, yeah, we're doing this shit, da-da-da. But I don't know. Those are just a few shout outs.
Are all those people have Black people in their bands? Is that what
yes, all of those people have either Black leads or are fully Black.
Oh.
So Glow. Thank you, Wyatt. Forgot about So Glow. You can't forget about So Glow. But yeah, I'm so upset I missed that Zulu show. I literally was at home and I was like, I was supposed to be somewhere today.
Yeah.
And I was like, damn, I didn't buy my ticket. That's why you got to buy your ticket before you go to the show. That way you're obligated. Don't be buying your ticket at the door. Get that shit early because you need to be in the building. Like,
fair.
You want to come through on your plans. But,
fair. Is there any songs you want to shout out specifically?
Kim K by Bimbos. Shit. Why is my head? Oh, Face Card by Upchuck. Love that one.
Face Card's good.
Yes. Damn, who else? Oh, Dead Man by Playytime. Yeah.
I'm definitely going to go with Too Many Republicans by Screw Tape. That one, it's just so much fun to sing along with.
Yeah.
I think I really want to shout them out because I know that they're not active, but I feel like I want to give them a
They deserve a listen.
Yeah. They only have 2 songs on Spotify, so you definitely need to look them up. I put both of them in our playlist.
I was about to say, we have a playlist. We try to make a playlist for every single episode.
Yeah.
So the playlist should be like in our recommended section, or we'll try to link it at the bottom.
Put a song from all those people that you just
They're
named.
already in there. Like half the playlist is already done.
Oh, okay. I'll put my songs in.
Yeah, you'll put your songs in. Yeah, and we'll put it either a link in the description, or we'll put it like to our IG highlights something. This was episode 17.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening. Thank you,
Thanks,
producers.
Wyatt. Thanks, Natalie.
Thank you.
Bye.
I hope y'all have a good one.